Yo, so there's something that's been kind of bothering me since season 1 of the finals, and I waited for some time to pass before I addressed this in hopes that the developers would eventually do something about it, but they haven't. This is probably a low-key complaint, as I haven't heard too many people complaining about it, so I'm making this video to see if some of y'all may also have this complaint. With that being said, my low-key complaint about the finals that I'm going to talk about in this video may not mean shit to you if you play the casual game modes, but if you play a lot of ranked like I do, you'll know exactly where I'm coming from. One of my biggest pet peeves about the finals at the moment is the fact that medium players in ranked use nothing but the FCAR, especially in gold and higher ranked games. I'm not shaming anyone who uses the FCAR because it only makes sense to use the FCAR, seeing as it's powerful enough to make every other gun in the medium's kit worthless. Sure, you see the occasional model 1887 player, but for the most part, 9 out of 10 medium players in ranked will be using the FCAR. A medium not using the FCAR in ranked is about as rare as my bank account having money. Assuming you hit all of your shots with the FCAR, you'll kill a heavy player before your magazine is even empty. And even if you do miss a few bullets, the reload time is generous enough that you can finish the job in under 2 seconds. And don't get me started on what the FCAR does to light players, because if you aren't amazing at playing light, the FCAR will absolutely shit on your life in like 5 bullets. The FCAR user could have the shittiest aim known to mankind, but if they hit at least 25% of their shots on a light, the player is going to be reduced to coins. This is probably the reason why I don't see as many lights in ranked, since to get the most out of that class, you have to play extremely well, because if you make even a single mistake, or if you're not positioned correctly, you'll die. And if a person with an FCAR takes you by surprise, you'll die before you even have enough time to react. That sucks and all, but my biggest issue with the FCAR being so goddamn powerful is that you rarely ever see any other mediums using any of the other weapons. There's a total of 5 guns in the mediums kit, but people only use the FCAR, since not using the FCAR is just putting yourself at a disadvantage. The AKM is a pea shooter, and even if you have sexy aim, a mediocre gamer with the FCAR will still take a sloppy shit on your life in seconds. And then you have the FAMAS, and despite this gun getting buffed recently, the FCAR is still way better than this gun. Then you have the revolver, which isn't really reliable either, since I personally don't like the ADS and it feels weird whenever I shoot it, and the revolver will be easily outdamaged by the FCAR. The only other medium gun that you'll see in ranked is the model 1887, since it does massive damage, but it's a shotgun and you need to be in close range to use the shotgun, whereas the FCAR melts people at close, medium, and long range. The FCAR isn't just a superior medium weapon, but it makes nearly every other gun, excluding the 1887, obsolete. No matter how good you are with positioning or your aim, you'll lose most gunfights to FCAR players, even if they're much worse than you are. And I don't know about you guys, but I hate this. I want to see every medium gun have playtime and be useful in ranked, but this obviously hasn't been a thing since season 1. If you go into ranked with anything but the FCAR, you will be punished. And ideally, every single gun in the game should be useful and strong, and that's the case for the heavy and light classes, which is great, but I need to see more balancing for the medium class. And the best way to go about that, in my opinion, is to nerf the FCAR. Now you might be thinking, Bernard, the FCAR just got nerfed a couple weeks ago. Well, my fellow gamer, I don't really consider that a nerf, and I think the gun needs to be nerfed again. Sure, the recoil is a tiny bit harder to control at times, but it's nothing too dramatic if you've been using the gun consistently for a while. The recoil changes are easily adaptable, so I'd like to see a nerf that addresses the damage output for the FCAR. Whether it be damage drop off or if the general damage output of the gun was decreased, either of these two would be a huge nerf and give other guns the chance to be useful and ranked. If anyone watching this doesn't agree with a nerf to the FCAR, then at the very least I'd like to see every other weapon be strong enough to compete with the FCAR in ranked. Because the finals is a beautiful game, but it gets pretty stale playing medium when you're forced to run one gun since the others are poopy butt cheeks in comparison. I love using the AKM and the revolver, but there's no point in ever bringing these guns into ranked, since the FCAR is the superior gun in literally every single aspect. And I'm a competitive gamer, man, so I'm not going to knowingly put myself at a disadvantage by bringing in anything other than the FCAR into ranked. No matter what approach the devs decide to take, we need to start seeing every medium gun being viable and ranked. I want this FCAR era to be over because it's been going on since the beginning of season 1. I'm not saying the gun should be nerfed into the ground to the point it's almost useless. I just want to see people not be punished by bringing in other weapons into ranked. I want to see variety. There's 5 guns that could be used, but there's only one that's ever used. I know metas will always exist in games like this, but a single gun should never be more powerful than any of the other guns in a class. Maybe this is just a personal issue, so let me know what y'all think. I might not respond to every single comment, but I certainly read them all, so feel free to express your thoughts down below and let us be respectable gamers and have a civil conversation. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? With that being said, remember to stay hydrated and to stay swaggy. Adios. You don't have an FCAR? You didn't have an FCAR. I do, that's why you died.